everybody. I am so excited to be here with Desi. We are starting our very first podcast. This is episode number 1 of Selling Big in Small Communities. So
Ooh,
cool.
episode number 1. So, with our podcast, what was really important to us is we realized that a lot of people help other people in bigger centers. And so, where we're in just a really small community, we wanted to help other agents that are in a small community because we felt like when we were getting started, that help wasn't available. We had to go hunting and searching for how to be successful
Yep.
in a different market because what works in a bigger market isn't going to work necessarily in a small community, and we have to tweak it. And so basically the goal of this podcast is to go over like the joys of being a realtor, the challenges of being a realtor, especially in a small community. And we're both moms. And so that adds a whole other level of challenges.
Yeah, moms, dads, whatever. You're busy with family, you're maybe busy with elderly parents, everybody's got something going on in their lives as well. But it's also, I think, for people who really want to take their real estate to the next level, like you can literally just coast, right? Like just do it the same way all the time. But that's how Desi and I met. I guess we could talk about that a little bit, is
Yeah.
we actually met um, at like with a group that we were both searching. Like, I don't know about you, but I was really trying to find somebody to connect with because, like you were saying originally, it's just so hard in a smaller center to really connect with somebody that kind of has your best interests at heart, right? That wants to collaborate, that wants to share. And so we met, where were we? This Cabo?
Cabo, yeah.
Yeah, we went to this. I just signed up for this event. It was like a mastermind, a group, and we met and we connected just on exactly this, like both from smaller towns, both really at the top of our game. Like I know she's crushing it. Number one real estate agent in the brokerage in for a couple of years, right? Which is huge because you're against giant centers. I don't know. What are the big cities in the United States? Okay, we should say Desi's from
Yes.
the US and I'm
Yes.
from
Let's this way. So Medicine Hat, if you haven't heard of it. Uh,
Probably not. Medicine
Probably
Hat.
not. Most people
Yep.
haven't. And
Mhm.
I'm from Burley. We're about 2 hours from Fun. And
I know, I love that. I love that. I'm more like 3 to 4 hours from fun. We can make our own fun. That's
oh
my
yeah.
big make your own fun where you're at and enjoy and love your community, right? But really, so I've been in real estate longer than Desi. I've been 20 years this year, which seems like a long time, but it's gone by really fast. How long have you been in it?
11 years.
11. So still a really long time. And then for me, like I really grew my business as an individual agent. So I became like the number one agent in the city, was like starting to really get noticed and grow my business. And that's when I realized I needed to build out a team. And so I've got a team, and then we've been consecutively number one team in the brokerage for the last few years, which is again, I'm up against huge cities like Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver. Like, it's so cool. That's where we connected and we realized we had that in common.
Yeah. And we
Plus
didn't
kids.
know we were both the best until Sunrise. And then they announced her name and they announced my name. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I
And
know.
that's kind of when we got the idea to share our success with you and what's working and what's not working and how we can help you guys.
Yeah. And I think because the idea is like we're going to bring in some really great people, interview them, find out their secret sauce, and ask some really good questions so that you can, as the listener, can take it away. You can always connect with us as well. Like we're available on socials, reach out. We've each got our own individual socials, and then we've got the group page, like the SBSC page. And I just think it's a really neat opportunity. Like you literally could be from like a town of 1,000 people selling real estate, and we're going to help you be the best. Take over your market share. Because what's your market share? You're at like 50%?
Yeah. Anywhere this year, we ended up at 38%.
Yeah, yeah. So,
It's
like,
not from consecutive months where we're like 50 plus.
when I really think depending on the size of your community, that can vary, right? And it's just like, what kind of tools you use. And I do think we're quite different in how we actually have strategized and implemented our businesses, which I think is going to be really interesting. And we can dive deep on that on one of the shows, right? So,
Yeah. And I actually love it because it shows that different personalities can be successful. using different strategies. And so
1,000%.
I think that's
Yeah.
kind of superpower.
Yeah, Desi's studio is way more organized than I am.
It's
I'll
uh,
get one day, folks. One day.
we're
You'll
gonna
s
get your
My
hometown.
studio is gonna
Shut
be
up.
boss. Yeah.
Do you want to dive into
Yeah,
questions?
let's dive into a few questions, and then we'll wrap up our first show ever.
Okay.
Very cool.
Exciting. Okay, first question that I wanted to ask is what is one piece of advice that you would give to a new agent starting out in a small community?
Okay, so again, depending on the size, you need to get with somebody who you can be mentored by. So you might have somebody in the community because now, like when I started, there wasn't teams. I know we talk a lot about teams, and if you can have the opportunity to join a team, I think you should, even if you're not planning on staying with that team. But you never know, like you might really find that connection to be super useful. If you're not in a center that has enough people to do something like that's where you connect with an outside community like Desi and I. That's how we found each other. And also, that's the community we're building. So then you've got somebody that can mentor you, that can really answer some questions. Like you just need to talk to people, spitball ideas, right? That's 1,000% what I'd suggest. How about you?
I love that. My suggestion would be one, look at what other people are doing and get a
Mhm.
feel for the market. And something that helped me be really successful is just knowing the market better than any of the agents that have been here for 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Because we actually moved here just a few years ago, like 6 years ago, and I started
Yeah.
over. So I started my career in Southern California and then I
Mhm.
moved here and I was like, I don't know if I'll do real estate. And then I was like, it's pretty boring living here and I do something. And so then
Mhm.
I just started getting to know the market. And so I think finding a mentor, because there wasn't one locally. So I had
Yeah.
to outside of our market and then implementing things that nobody else is doing. So we like started staging properties and nobody else was doing it. And I
Yeah.
know stories similar.
Yeah. Very. Yeah. We've been staging for like 12 to 15 years before staging was even a thing. And then that's been a huge piece of my business for sure.
And so my other advice would be just be consistent. You've got to treat it like a job. You can't just expect to show up and be like, okay, I'm not working weekends. I'm not working nights. I'm only going to work these specific hours and expect to have your business explode. It's just not going to happen. There's going to be a few years of grinding where you really just have to push through. It's not going to feel great. It's going to feel heavy
Mhm.
and it's going to be hard. But I think with the community, I think it'll make it a little bit easier because you have people who are going through the same thing. But you just have to
Yeah.
grind, and that's how you're going to get where you want to go.
I think that's the thing, right? Like people really need to understand that this is an industry that is reactive. I know there's definitely techniques you can employ to maybe take a little bit of the pressure off the stress, but and that I think has a lot to do with communication with your clients. That's setting some expectations ahead of time, that kind of thing. We can definitely dive deep into that at some point because I know there's some agents that are really good at that. I'm not as good at that as I'd love to be, but it's just I've always said, you pick up the phone, you say yes, you're not a you don't treat your phone like it's a cobra, right? Like you pick it up, you talk to people, you ask questions. And that's not even just the clients, that's creating relationships with the other agents in the
Yeah.
community, right?
Yeah, a
That's a
hundred
huge
percent.
piece.
And that's
Yeah.
another thing I would tell agents is become ingrained in that community. People in the community need to know who you are.
Mhm.
And so, like talking to business owners and using shopping local, just doing all those
Love
little
that.
things where people are like, oh, they're supporting me. I'm going to support them.
100%, 100%. And I think both you and I really dive deep into that as far as our community goes, right? And I think that's becoming a lot more common as well with social media. And something people can do is get into social media. Don't just follow people in your market, like follow people in big cities, follow people in the United States or Canada or wherever. Just somebody that's doing something that you're interested in. And then maybe something they're doing is going to stick with you, right?
Yeah.
So it'll feel good. What's one unforgettable moment though? Like you've been in real estate for 11 years. What's one of the most
Oh,
unforgettable moments?
there's so many stories. They're so crazy. Let me think on it. I think like a funny story. So there's this town that's not very far. It's called Albion and it's haunted. There's just ghosts. Everyone knows. Um,
Okay.
so I'm showing a property there and we go into the basement and I just had this weird feeling and I was like, ah, this property. So I'm wearing a dress and we go into
Yeah.
this room and the door blows shut. and
Yeah.
there's no handle on the inside. So we're trapped in this basement surrounded by concrete walls. And there's this window, but it's like way up there. Like it's a short window and it's not very big. And so I'm like,
Not egress. Do you guys call it egress down
yeah,
there?
it's at least
Not
not egress.
egress.
It's like the size of a child. I was like, there's no way I'm going to fit through there. I'm going to have to like, you know,
Yeah.
to get everything all and my client's huge, so he's like this big man. He's like a parole officer, and he's got all these big muscles and tattoos and just not like he's fit, but he is
Yeah.
not. His shoulders are like huge. And then
Yeah.
his eyes
Not
almost
going through the window is what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and then of course I'm like, our phones don't work down here. Perfect service block. We have no service. I'm like, there's some canned peaches from 1910. We could eat
Mhm.
those. We could drink this moonshine. What do you guys want? We're just gonna sit here. There was like these big apple juice jugs full of excellent.
Mhm.
So then Sheldon, lift you up. So he like gives me a boost and I like wiggle my way through this window, get out, go around, unlock it for him. But that was so fun.
That's an awesome story.
Right. How
That's
about you?
Oh my gosh, I'm the same. There's just so many good stories. I don't think I have as many because I've been following you for a while, right? And I you seem to have some really fun stories, things that happen. I feel I'm a little more blasé as far as the events that do happen. I think for me, I get as far as unforgettable moments, like I had this one real estate deal that was like so many dominoes. Like there was so many people involved. Like I think it was like 5 houses like had to fall for
Mm.
everything to come together, right? And so there was 2 people that were in that transaction that I just loved to pieces, and then once that deal, like, just all came together, and it took a lot of working and, like, trying to figure little pieces out that, like, it just the minute it all, like, boom sold, it just felt so good. That happened a couple of years ago, and there was literally, like, cheering and happy dancing in the office, and it was literally the best. It was so good. So that's one of the moments that I'll never forget.
I love that. And I think the reason that so much crazy stuff happens to me, have you heard like of magnetism? I think you just like what you put out somebody
That was the loudest
someone
laugh. Like, everyone's gonna be like,
girl.
Yeah. I have heard of this. And I feel like that's why we've magnetized together because I have heard because actually there's a gal on my team, Candace, and she totally if something's crazy is gonna happen, if you want crazy stories, it's her 100%. Like people like jumping on her car or like falling out in front of her car or jumping. Oh, she had one where somebody was like hiding in the closet and like she went to pull the closet curtain over and the person grabbed her hand.
Oh,
Yeah. And then the lady was like in there and totally it was just like a whole
funny.
crazy mess, like a whole but and then the best part about that story was because it wasn't our listing at the time, which and it didn't end up selling. And then we got the listing, we really got to know those people and boom, we sold it. So it was like,
Yeah.
yeah. So good moment.
Oh my gosh. I've listened to too many murder podcasts for that to happen to me.
Oh, yeah.
I,
Yeah, I would die.
um,
I would die, but yeah, I don't know. It's been pretty fun. There's been I've always thought, "Oh, I should take notes of all the really, like, great fun moments." And maybe that's the advice. If you're just starting out or at any point, you should start, like, just writing down, like, even in your day timer, like, the stories, and then it could be so fun. Like, we should actually start that, like, funny stories in
yes,
real estate.
I love that. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, so
If we could go back in time and change one thing beside writing down all your funny stories, like what's the one thing that you would change that you think would help either your business run more smoothly or like just help you in the long run?
Oh man, there's so many things. So I think I would say implement new like platforms early. Like in hindsight, I wish I would have dialed into YouTube earlier. Things like that, right? There's no time like the present. You should totally start whenever you're ready. But the big thing for me would be my CRM. We've talked about this before. I didn't have a CRM. It wasn't even in my wheelhouse. I didn't even know it was a thing like when I got started. We had everything on spreadsheets, and yeah, that's fine to a certain extent. And I think for new agents coming on, you're like, I don't have very many clients. Let's just keep track of it this way and not spend the money on a good CRM. Do it early. Get into that early, dial in, know it. Like those things are magic, but you have to really dive deep, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and that would be mine as well. Because my
Yeah.
husband was coaching a CRM. He's like, "You need to use this, you need to use this." I'm like, "That's so dumb, I'm not using it."
Yeah.
Then one day I came in, I was like, "We should get a CRM."
And you're like,
"Oh,
this is my
right."
idea.
Okay, here's the one you should use. But as soon as I did that, my business went from 40 deals a year to 89. And
Yeah.
the only difference I did was implementing that CRM.
Yeah. And then it's just consistency and use with that CRM, right?
Yes. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to actually use it for it to work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the trick for us right now. We're really working hard to get into it, but we've been on the struggle bus. Really, we're still trying to just make it work smoothly for us. And that's because we do so many deals now. It's just we're constantly just like digging ourselves out of something that we didn't even realize we were starting years ago. So for sure, for me, 100%. Get into that CRM. If you have questions about that, you can always reach out, right? There's a few different options out there for people, but do your research. And once you get into one, I would say really dive deep, right? Take
100%.
classes, masterminds, you name it. YouTube.
Because there's so many capabilities that they have that you're not even aware of. Like you can build out entire plans and we could go on and on.
I know. It could be, and I think realistically, that's the thing, right? Like we're going to be talking about those things within this podcast, which I'm so excited about. I can't wait to learn from people. Like I don't know about you, but I'm obsessed with listening to other people's podcasts or watching their videos or seeing them live and in person. There's just so many things out there for people. And if you open your mind up to learning from other people and what they've done right, or maybe learn about maybe their mistakes, that's the ticket, right?
That's exactly what I think both of us have done to get where we are. It's
Yeah.
just watched and learned and imitated and avoided
Yeah.
what people have
And
done.
you're like, let consistency. I think that's our biggest piece, right? Like consistency, we could rock that home all day.
I really no. The
What?
what's your vision for the podcast?
I really want to create a community for people in small centers, like small towns, small communities, like anybody who really just feels that they need to connect with somebody that to help them with their business. I just feel there's like a really cool opportunity for people that are in small towns. This is you could literally elevate your business. Boom. It could go crazy. You just have to get in that mindset, connect with people. And I think that's what we're hoping to do. That's for me anyway, the big part. It's just like bring a connection and sort of a community outside of your community that's with realtors that have your back. I just think that's such a good option because I do think sometimes within your center, depending on how small, because let's talk about small towns, everybody knows everything about you or they think they do, and sometimes it's really nice to make a connection with somebody who's knows nothing about you.
And a
How
lot
about you?
of small towns don't want to collaborate because they're like, oh, it's going to steal my business, right?
Yes.
So they have that kind of scarcity mentality. But I think I'm the same. I just want to help other people because I've learned so much throughout this
Mhm.
process. And it's like,
Mhm.
I could help you get there faster without going through all the struggles. Like that would be a huge win in my book.
Right? Let's do it, and I can't wait to connect with some of our guests. Like, it's gonna like, just even selfishly creating a community for us too,
Right. So,
right? Like,
yeah,
I just like, I wanna create a community for everybody, including us. So
yeah, we need more friends.
yeah, we need more friends, 100%. Let's Rich, everybody, there's gonna be like a we have to all wear the jean suit, the Canadian jumpsuit, right?
With a zipper. I had a poor experience in school. Or maybe it was a
Yeah,
good experience, I don't
yeah,
know.
that's gonna be the wardrobe. Canadian jumpsuit.
Canadian jumpsuit, we have a dress code.
That's it, dress code. I couldn't think of the word.
Love it.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening and
Yeah,
right? Like this has
stay
been
tuned
so
for the next
fun.
one. We're gonna have a lot
But
of
it's just going to keep getting better and if you have anything that's like a burning question, message us because we'll definitely get to the bottom of it. We've got a great community that we've already started, people, a really nice network. So if we don't have the answer, we can find people that do. Right?
percent. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, See you next time.
Bye.